Hey there and welcome to Warhammer Painting Tips. In this video, which is not a tutorial but rather just a quick tip really, I'm going to talk about painting Space Wolf armor with contrast paints. Now this technique may have spread around by now. It's actually been some time since I did the model that you are seeing right now, but when it was finished I liked it so much that I immediately took it to my local store, and a short while ago, when I heard one of the store guys talking to a customer about how this is this great new way of painting Space Wolves, I thought that I should share this. So, usually when painting Space Wolf armor, I did a classic layering from dark to light, which is great, of course, from the result, because it gives a lot of depth to the model. And when you do it right, like here, which started out with a base coat of the fang shaded with null oil all over, and then has the rust gray applied in, I think, 4 layers on this model until it got a really smooth finish, and then finished off the edges with Federation gray. And this is, of course, great. I love the look it produces, but it is very tedious and time-consuming. And you actually get bored pretty fast while doing it this way. So, of course, it would be wonderful to speed this up with contrast paints. And when contrast paints came out, everyone was like, yeah, these are great, but of course you cannot do Space Marine armor, because you will never get the smooth look that we all go for. But what you can actually do is a combination of classic layering and contrast paints, for which you give the model a priming coat of gray cyan, then paint it over with a contrast Space Wolf gray. One coat is sufficient, because what's important is that you get these dark linings in all the recesses. And what's great about this is that, of course, contrast produces its own highlights. So you've got these dark to light gradients in the base coat, and then when you paint this over with layer paint, which is slightly transparent, you will still see those shining through. So you immediately, without having to do anything about it, but doing a smooth layer, is what you will get immediately, I mean, is that you have this little shimmering, glowing effect to it, which is due to the contrast gradient shining through the rust gray. And what's also very, very nice about this approach is that you can actually use the highlights that are produced by the contrast paint and kind of paint the rust gray layer up to them, and leave this highlighted part as beautiful as it is. So these, and also over here, had no further highlighting in Federation gray or whatever. Also, I hope the camera gets this. If you look at the face of this Primaris guy here, you might see, hopefully, that there is a very, very nice smooth highlighting gradient on the mask part below the eyes, and that's also all natural by the contrast paint, and all you have to do is to watch out not to overpaint it with your layer. Also, what was very helpful using contrast was speeding up the painting time for the bolter, which was done with one single coat of Black Templar with a little contrast medium, and after that I just picked out this few metal details, and the thing looks pretty perfect. So, all in all, you get a look that's even nicer than the one before. I do like the gritty kind of nature that the classic layering produces, but this, of course, is a very, very satisfying look. And The painting time compared to the one I've shown before was sped up by, I'd say, at least a third, maybe even more. So this is how you do Space Wolves with contrast paint. Bye.